Welcome to Billionaire Investment. Today, we're unlocking a high-stakes $100 billion gamble the world's richest man is pouring into artificial intelligence. A gamble not playing out in Silicon Valley, not in Austin, not in Vegas, but in Memphis. Stick to the end because you'll see how he designs cash flow, turning electricity into compute, turning GPUs into revenue contracts, and turning a sleeping factory into the heartbeat of the AI era. Because this is where speed can become a moat. An old factory shell, steel frames, concrete floors, broken piping was woken up in roughly 4 months. Colossus was born, racks flickering, cold air roaring, indicator lights pulsing in rhythm with the fans like a chest breathing. And that's only Act 1. Act 2, Colossus 2, aims to level up hundreds of thousands, then pushing toward 1 million GPUs. But remember, GPUs are only half the board. The other half is power. Without power, a supercomputer is just a hot, expensive, silent pile of metal. What is time to compute? It's the gap from an idea to the moment you actually hit start, train, infer, deploy agents. In this era, whoever brings compute online sooner learns faster, drives unit costs deeper, and locks in market share earlier. A 200,000 GPU milestone today isn't just a number, it's a learning advantage. 550,000 GPUs next month isn't just scale, it's a ticket to price negotiations. And 1 million GPUs? That's the power to set the breathing rhythm of the AI market. The build comes in 5 layers: land, substations, chilled water loops, water systems, fire safety, security, clean zones, servers, GPUs, networking, storage, fiber, 100G/400G backbone, and an aggressive PUE target. Power, secure grid capacity, bridge with gas turbines, and push toward gigawatt plants plus renewable PPAs to drive long-term cost down. Taxes and incentives. Local governments match your speed in exchange for tax base, jobs, and the AI hub brand. Equity and ecosystem leverage. Front-load CapEx to buy a runway of compute, then let the products flying on that runway pay it back. Why Memphis instead of a familiar tech hub? Because logistics here are short and heavy duty. Rail, riverport, interstate arteries. Multi-ton transformers can roll straight onto the site. Racks arrive weekly, not quarterly. Existing factory frames compress permitting, and a local government willing to ride with the project can turn 30 days of paperwork elsewhere into 10 here. Cutting the timeline in half sometimes means pulling ahead by an era. But the secret isn't just the location, it's the cash flow design. Lock power first, because electricity is AI's glass ceiling in 2025. Lock GPUs early via supplier slots, even pulling vendors closer to cut replacement and maintenance time. Lock customers via a path from general purpose models to enterprise agents, from demo to POC, from POC to multi-year contracts. Lock the narrative with simple heartbeat metrics. $1,000 per token, PUE, uptime, latency, ARPU. A tight story unlocks liquidity. Liquidity buys time, time buys quality, and quality finally buys revenue. Operating principles are gritty, unflashy, and sharp as a machinist's blade. First principles: solve from physics and cost, not slogans. Iterate fast. Test, fail, fix, repeat. Embrace controlled chaos to shorten the learning loop. Own the pipes, control the conduits, power, data, compute to tax the flow. Speed as moat. Being 80% right but 6 months earlier will beat 90% right arriving late. What shows up in the real economy? Productivity lifts for real. Offices plug in agents, operations automate workflows, R&D gets supercharged by simulation and high-speed analytics. A hardware cluster forms: server assembly, networking, storage, field service, security, auxiliary services. Technical jobs and local taxes grow steadily, from MEP crews to data center ops, from network engineers to industrial safety. AI exports, API revenue, agent as a service, model as a service flowing into American enterprises. The grid cycle spins, new substations, lines, coolants, high voltage gear, CapEx ripples outward. The risk board is real. Power, requesting 300 megawatts but getting less risks slipping GPU milestones and production timelines. Permits, gas turbines, NO2, noise, truck traffic, everything sits under a community microscope. Cooling water without reuse, social conflict pitches tents at your gate. Stranded CapEx. Compute is online, but ARR lags. Margins get sanded down daily. GPU supply. If slots get pulled toward big tech, products slip and valuation stories wobble. So you instrument the plane with a through-line KPI pack. Your hands on the yoke. Power MW delivered. Substation roadmap PPAs signed. Renewable mix. GPUs, actual online versus announced, rack landing cadence, component swap times. Regulatory, air/noise permits, environmental data disclosures, community response process. Product B2BARR, marquee customer names, shorter sales cycles, POC to multi-year conversion. Efficiency, PUE, dollars per 1,000 tokens, uptime, latency, cooling cost per kilowatt. Scenarios, bull case, 550,000 plus GPUs running stably, power over 300 megawatts, enterprise agents land big contracts, the compute to revenue curve closes the loop. Base case, power ramps in steps, turbines operate within permitted limits, product grows steadily but not explosively, expansion moves in safe increments. Bear case, permitting tightens, grid upgrades lag, GPU slots slip, costs rise, schedules slip, strategy must shard to other sites. The flywheel. When power is cheap and reliable and GPUs land on time, inference unit cost falls fast. When unit cost falls, inference share shifts. When share shifts, pricing power opens. When pricing power opens, ARR thickens. And when ARR thickens, the capital story flips from burn to earn. 4 coupled joints, energy to compute to product to finance. If one joint squeaks, the whole drivetrain jerks. Answer to luck or skill, both. Luck is the tailwind of the AI cycle and a national shortage of power capacity. Skill is building the pipes, power and compute before you push volume. Luck is opportunity. Skill is the steering wheel. With wind but no wheel, the boat spins. With a wheel but no wind, it stalls. With both, the story shifts from effort to momentum. Because we'll pin a simple checklist you can track yourself, no need to believe anyone, just believe the data. Power, actual megawatts delivered, substation milestones, PPAs. GPUs, actual online counts, rack arrival cadence. Regulatory, emissions/noise/water permits. Product, B2BARR, real customers, real case studies. Efficiency, PUE, dollars per 1,000 tokens, latency. When 3 green lights, power, GPUs, ARR, turn on together, you'll see valuation move before the financial statements can catch up. This isn't just a story about AI models. It's a story about systems: electricity, water, steel, copper, semiconductors, people, and policy. Build the pipes and the flow will come. When the flow comes, the money follows close behind. Memphis is the test. Are you buying speed or buying headaches? The answer lives in the next 12 to 24 months, inside numbers that don't lie. If you want monthly KPI updates, MW, GPUs, permits, ARR, Hit subscribe so you don't miss them. If this perspective helped, tap like so the algorithm knows you want more. Share the video with a friend who cares about AI, infrastructure, and billionaire capital flows. And finally, drop a comment, bull, base, or bear. Which scenario are you picking for the Memphis gamble?